Hi everyone, I'm Cameron Moon. I'm the Assistant Curator of Historic Architectural Resources here at Drayton Hall. And today we're going to be walking down a road called MacBeth Road that's behind me. This road shows up on maps from the 19th century. As far as we know, it could be earlier than that. But here I'm going to share with you a map from 1902. So just to orient you to where we are on the property, this is the main house right here. This is the main entrance road that you drive in on every day. The African American Cemetery is right about here. And MacBeth Road is this dotted double line right here. And as you can see, there are houses on either side of the road, and I'll talk a little bit about those as we go down the road today. So the house sites that were along this road would probably be about 20 to 50 feet off of the road right here. So if you look into the woods, they're way back in the woods. So we have to find them archaeologically. There isn't really any evidence above ground today. So this oak tree that's right here, right along the road, is probably an original tree to the property, or at least dating back to about 1800. Richmond Bowens, who was born on the property in 1908 and grew up here, he lived here until about 1940. All of the houses that were along this road, he remembered being associated with a grand oak like this one. So unfortunately, we've lost several of the original oaks, but this is kind of gives you an idea of what you would have seen if you were walking along this road in the early 20th century. Okay, so we have arrived. This is one of the only sites that still survives above ground in any form today. We call this the Roberts-McKeever House. It's named after the two families who lived here, the Roberts family and the McKeiver family. We actually have a photograph of Diana Roberts standing in front of her house. So it's really hard to see, but her house is right here. This is the end chimney, and then this is the framed house with clapboard siding and a shingled roof on top. And then there was a fence surrounding the house. So we don't know when this house was constructed. For a long time, we used the lintel to date this house. So the lintel is this piece right here that's holding up the masonry. You can see that it's made of two pieces of iron. We believe that these are recycled iron rail lines from the phosphate mining era that started in 1866 here on the property. So for a long time we said, well, this house couldn't be any earlier than 1866 because of the iron rail lines. But just a few months ago, we came out here and took some mortar samples from different parts of the chimney. So we took a sample from right here, kind of looks like cement a little bit. And then we took another sample from the back of the firebox, which is probably original mortar back here. And then we compared the two and they're different. So that indicated to us that this iron lintel was put in with newer mortar, so it's a later repair. Now that doesn't help us with a date, but it does help us realize that this iron lintel was not original, so perhaps this house is a little bit older than we originally thought. But we still have a lot of research to do, so I can't definitively say when it was built just yet. So in the 20th century, there was an entire community of African Americans who lived here on the property at Drayton Hall. The area that we're standing in now may have been the area where the enslaved settlement was originally before the Civil War. So when phosphate mining was performed on the property, the labor force was made up of freed people, and we believe that those freed people lived in former slave houses at the beginning of the mining endeavor, and over time they constructed new houses for themselves. So we're not sure if this house is one of those original slave houses or if it's a structure that the people built for themselves after the Civil War ended.